There is a lot of you here today. So, you must crawl before you can walk. Imagine, you're a tiny human, and do you remember what it was like learning to crawl? Well, that's what it was like at the beginning of my Year 12 project. Learning to crawl is rather complex. You must fall, get up, fall again, get up again. It requires coordination, balance, and focus. But once you get crawling and it's motoring along, left, right, you start to think, I'm going to pull myself up to standing. You wobble, you fall down a few times, and you hold on to something to help you get up, right? There's a strange joy in developing a new skill, as there was through this Year 12 project. Whoop. Hey, there we go. Now, back to crawling. During 2021, when I was in year 11, I would dance on my own, getting started in my room at home with no equipment other than a phone and a speaker. I started to listen to music over and over, but I started to think, I wanted to learn something new, but similar. So I decided to make this my Year 12 project. Making the decision to dance was the easy part. The actual act of learning to crawl was where the challenges came in. Coordination is required. This is where I practiced over and over again in my room, making sure I had the ability to have the strength and skills that I can bring to my classes and my project. This is where the feeling of wonder and awe for the year ahead designed this project, and I wanted to keep me motivated and engaged. Another reason I specifically chose dancing for the fitness for my project was to change the stigma around this art form. The idea was that people probably had the wrong perception on pole dancing and wanted to show that there's another reason to practice this art form, such as enjoying the dance for itself, creating core strength, and having an outlet to express nervous energy. I created a strong sense of self and confidence. Yet it's a lot harder than it looks. Trying to make yourself look like you're not struggling when you are, to look like you're floating or using every muscle you need while making it look effortless is rather difficult and honestly a real art form, and it takes a lot of commitment and hours of practice. Yes. Oop, wrong way. After crawling, we'll start to walk. Okay. After I got the approval for my project, After I got the approval for my project, I got to work coming up with a manageable project design. I wanted to improve my skills and learn more technique. Then I would use these skills to practice and develop my fitness and core strength to make a dance routine of my own. First, I went to look for classes near my area. That would fit with my time schedule. I ended up finding one that went for about an hour. We paid for a year up front, roughly $900, and was accepted in. This was a huge step in my learning to dance. From there, I went to classes every Tuesday after school for the first semester. But as I moved up a few levels in my skills, my classes were moved to Fridays. But in hindsight, this was a big setback to my progress because all school schedules are on Friday. And it's interesting how a simple change could have such a strong effect in everything. This was the beginning phase of the teachers were really encouraging, saying that if you can't do something now, it's just now and it's not always forever. When learning something, I think you need support to improve. It is very important. Through the regular classes, I was able to receive support and motivation, much like learning to walk. Look, when you're learning to walk, you need the support, you need encouragement. And there might be struggles, stumbles, but there's always that support to help you get back up again and to help you keep on walking. After we walk, we will eventually start to wanting to run. As I progressed during the year, I became more confident in being able to dance without the support that I held so closely initially. As I wobbled through the beginning phases, I felt like I was freer to choose what I wanted to do, yet struggled because initially I didn't know how to do things on my own. But it made me feel more motivated to keep on going. I noticed a sense of well-being was improving also. Felt happier going to classes and felt more confident in my body. When you run, you need the strength, you need fitness, you need motivation, courage, and the willpower to keep going regularly. There's still moments of muscle strain, soreness, and dips in my motivation, but I knew that I had to keep being focused. If I could give my younger self some advice, it would be that you won't see the results straight away. So keep on going and don't give up. The hard work will always pay off in the end. This was my beginning to being able to dance with the confidence and skills. During the process, I tried very different moves and grips, and I'll talk you through some of them I've learned now. One of the moves which I've learnt was called the air walk, where you would walk in the air around. But when you're doing that, you have to walk slower than a normal walking speed. This makes you look like you're spinning a lot slower than what you really are. You would hold on to the pole, like that, with your forearm against there, and pushing, and lift yourself up and start walking. And if you feel like it's a good walking speed, go a little slower, because it would always look better and look more effortless. Another move I did was called the crucifix, where this is all leg strength. You cannot use your hands in this, where you use your knees, abdomen forward, and arms out like that. Again, in the air. You're not allowed to touch your feet. You're not allowed your feet to touch the ground. This move is very difficult because, again, you cannot use your hands, like we would all probably do if you're trying to lift yourself up. Another move is called the martini glass, which is a lot more difficult to do standing. So, one leg goes out, one leg goes here, doing that, and only holding on with your knee and in your elbow, and then arms out. That is very difficult to do while in the air, trying to hold yourself up without falling and hurting yourself. Next move, and the last move I'll show you, is called the Superman, which looks exactly how it sounds. Basically doing a Superman pose. Both legs out, that way. I can't do that, I'm not explaining why. One hand out, and one hand like that, doing a Superman pose, while in the air. And all these moves can be done while spinning, or staying still, except for the airwalk, of course. Some grips which I've learned throughout this year was full wraparound, half, where thumb goes with the fingers. There's also forearm, which I demonstrated with the airwalk, elbow and armpit grips, also ankle grips, calf grips, knee grips, and thigh grips, just to name a few. I listened to many different types of music, but the main theme of them all was that they were a lot slower and expressed all of just one emotion, whether it's sad, angry, or happy, which makes it a lot easier for me to figure out what I need to do for choreography and it'll be easy for me to memorize everything. This is also where I would research different moves online to add to what I've already learned in my classes. As with everything, there will always be the struggles. I have developed the stamina and fitness through this journey, but fatigue was still creeping its way in. And so as the end of the year rolled on, my feet began to drag, the lactic acid in my muscles built up, and the workload compounded, and I retreated back to walking. Sometimes when things get tough, it's okay to go back to walking, to slow down a little bit. Yeah. But I'm proud of the fact that even though I slowed down, I'd never stopped moving forward. My achievements, not that yet. Yet. I ended this year with a better core strength, having developed some good foundations in my dance skills and with more knowledge about myself. Through this year-long project, I discovered a few things about myself. I can focus on a project for a long period of time. I can get better at it, but I keep on working on it. And I can feel good while doing hard things and take the time and effort to improve. If I could leave you here with one thought, it would be, if you're learning something new, you can't quite do it right now, it's just now, and now's not always forever. But what's next? I hope for next year I'll be able to develop my skills even further, complete my course and get a certificate in my personal training, which I'll probably get a job if I choose to. Yeah. This year has taught me so much. Life is a journey. Learning is a process. You have to crawl before you walk before you run, and most importantly, you have to develop the stamina, focus, perseverance, and resilience to keep going. One of my teachers have told me during my courses, which I've been telling you twice now during this presentation, is if you can't do something right now, that's only now and it's not always forever. So keep going, because if you stick at something and you have that dream, you can achieve anything. Thank you. Questions? Yes, Mark.
What is your favorite move? Oh, very well spoken, by the way. What's your favorite move on the pole?
What's my favorite move? I would say is the airwalk, because that wasn't in my courses. I just wanted to learn that one because I saw it online. I was like, oh, it's so cool to do that. So I was like, I'm going to teach myself how to do that. So yeah, I would say the airwalk is my favorite move. Yes, Rose.
Well done, Ashlin. You spoke beautifully, and so fabulous to hear your process and what you went through. I'm thinking about rewinding back. What advice would you offer yourself at the start? We've got some Year 11s here who are, just about to embark on their journeys. What would you say to them?
That if at the beginning stages going slow, that it's not going to be initially. You will see progress by the end of the year. And if you look back, you'll see I had nothing, but at the end of it, you have everything. So have patience, I guess.
Thank you.
Hi, Ashlin.
Yes.
There's a few of us here with questions for you, so you can keep looking this way for a minute. We are so proud of you. I'm wondering, what are you most proud of out of your whole year? You can take a moment, have a drink, look cool while you think about your answer.
What I am most proud of, that I continued, that I had many stages during this year that I thought, what if I did something else? What if I could do something different? Can I change my project? But I'm proud that I continued doing this, and and I didn't stop.
Sorry, Ash, third teacher in a row.
Get on.
I'd love to know, how did you build your core strength? As someone myself that has zero core strength, how did you build your core strength to be able to hold yourself up for so long?
Hours of practice. And at the beginning of this, we have 15 minutes of just doing warm-ups, like planks, push-ups, other stretches. And pulling yourself up for a few times. And eventually, you'll just probably just do that while pulling yourself up, not using your toe, but pulling yourself up onto your toes. But then eventually you'll be able to just pull yourself up off of the air after like a few weeks.
That was brilliant, thank you. My question is sort of like we've been through COVID and all that things, and lots of people have done lots of things online. A couple of questions with that. Which did you find easier, going to the classes or doing it online? And would you think about doing something in future, like teaching online or something along those lines?
It was a lot easier going there to classes in person because all the equipment was there. I didn't have very much stuff at home that was affordable. So yeah, going to classes was a lot easier to do. And with future into teaching, probably not. I'm not a very good teacher. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, yes.
Oh, well spoken. I was just wondering, you mentioned at the start of your speech that there's like a stigma around pole dancing, and I was wondering if like there's things that you could do to change that stigma around it.
So to change the perception of what people will initially think of what pole dancing is, they probably think it's not suitable for children. But if you just do research and ask around people that do this, they'll always say they do it for the sport or do it for the fitness. So don't always think what you initially think it is always set that. There's always other reasons for everything. Yes.
Yeah, I was just wondering, did you ever like get injured while you were like practicing and like figuring stuff out? Also, like really cool stuff.
Yeah. Sometimes if you go down too fast, you'll injure yourself, and if you do a move incorrectly, you'll fall and hurt yourself. Or I have countless stories of accidentally hitting my ankle, like the real bad part of my ankle against the pole, and you're just like, ow, and it's like, yeah. Or mostly groin injuries. Yeah. Not fun. Any more questions? Yes.
What was the most challenging part of your project?
Most challenging part, just getting through it and like keep on doing a move that I can't do at that time. And it's like, I can't do it now. It's like, and they keep telling me, you can do it later or in the future. It's like, continue doing a move even if I struggled doing it, and I would keep on falling over. But then eventually getting it, it was a good accomplishment. Yes, up there.
I was just wondering, what age did you decide that you wanted to do this?
I decided to do this during last year. I was like, because I had that same perception. And then I did my own research. It was during 2021. I was like, oh, this is cool. This is sport. And I was like, I want to do this. And so I had made the decision of this when I was in year 11, so last year. So I was 17. Question? No more questions? A few thank yous. I want to thank my mum for always supporting me through this entire year and helping me get through even though I'm stressed over everything. I want to thank my dad who paid for everything and drove me to all my classes, same with my mum. I want to thank Eleanor and Rose for always helping me through all this project, whether it's thesis or whatever, just everything. They helped me through everything. I want to thank Andrew, my, what's the word? Not supervisor, mentor. Thank you. My mentor, and also helped me through some of the moves and accepted me into the classes. I want to thank Mark for helping me for also for everything and dealing with me from all my stresses. And well, like my class were also always supporting me through everything, and always telling me, "You got this," even though I said, "I don't got this." Thank you.